Hello, everybody. I'm Ramsis.
And Vesper is best.
Well, wouldn't say that, but we're here for another edition of Vesper's Retro Reviews, our Fighting Retrospective, and we're getting down to the end. It's game number 11. Hard to believe, but we have 2 games to go here. And this is going to be an interesting one because it's a memorable game, but for the wrong reasons. I think that's the best way we can say this one. Fighter's History 1994 Super Nintendo version of this spectacular, memorable, awesome, well, I don't know if I would use
Well, I would say that this is just simply a Street Fighter clone, as you're about to see. And the memorable thing that we're talking about is an epic lawsuit that is associated with this game between Data East and Capcom.
Yes, it was in the heyday of Street Fighter 2's popularity. So this game actually came out in the arcades in 1993. Street Fighter 2 came out in the arcades 1991. So this was already up to where Championship Edition was already hot in the arcades, very competitive. Everyone and their mother and their brother wanted to get in on the fighting scene, and Capcom was like, this is getting ridiculous. I'm tired of all these companies copying us. We're gonna do something about it. So Data East became the focus. Was it Mortal Kombat? No. Was it SNK? No. They did not go after these companies, and they don't really give a reason why they don't go after these companies. But poor little Data East, they felt that Fighter's History was a little too close, pretty much copying of Street Fighter 2, and this was the game they were going to make an example out of. And things didn't go exactly as Capcom thought, because pretty much Data East knew they were protected by the law, and we'll get into that as we talk more about the game. So Fighter's History, 1993, released in the arcade. The version we're playing is the 1994 SNES version. It's a pretty good port, actually, of the game, but it's pretty much Street Fighter. So what are the differences here besides Street Fighter? Street Fighter, a 6-button fighting game. Fighter's History, a 6-button fighting game. Low punch, high punch, medium punch, all the same stuff. What is the big difference? Well,
it's the weak point system. That's right. If you hit a certain place on each of the fighters, you hit them enough, they get stunned. And then every consecutive hit after they've been stunned does more damage if you hit them in that same spot. So, as we'll show you, it's going to get really rough, because while this seems like a good idea in theory, what it means is that you have to be super guarded in this game as opposed to Street Fighter game.
it's gonna be a little messy. You know, I played this game before. You can play Street Fighter, you can play Fighter's History, and it's a clunkier, just not as fluid and free-flowing game as Street Fighter. You can definitely see there's a company that was very, very hard trying to copy Street Fighter, but missing that little extra smoothness and
refinement.
Yeah, it just is not a refined version. It's funny that Capcom decided they're gonna put all their eggs in the basket and go after this game when you had better games that were doing a lot better and still using similar systems. It's really amazing that they went after Data East. And by the way, long story short, Data East won the lawsuit because you can't copyright Steen's Affair, which means you can't copyright the idea of a fighting game. You can copyright, this is our system, this is our characters. Like, you can't put exact. You can't put Ryu into another game and say, oh, well, here's Ryu, we created it. You can do similar things. You could do someone that fights martial arts and wears a gi and a bandana, but you can't literally put Ryu into the game, but you could do similar and you could do spoofing. That's allowed, and the judge, I think, made the right decision when all is said and done. But yes, we're not gonna kid you, it is a clone of Street Fighter 2. We're not gonna sugarcoat this. It is a clone of Street Fighter 2.
And we wanted to show you the game that defended all other future fighting games to this point was Data East.
Yeah, Data East pretty much lost their whole company fighting this. They won, but it's one of those, wow, you won the battle, but at what cost? You know, it's pretty much like in Civilization, which I'm doing on Ramsis Retro Long Plays, check it out there. Yes, you won the battle, but you lost your whole kingdom and you're left with like nothing, but congratulations, you won the battle. That's pretty much what happened here. Data East invested and threw everything in the kitchen sink at Capcom. They beat them, but it pretty much bankrupted the company because Data East was a small company, Capcom's a huge company. Data East did not survive much longer after beating Capcom, but they opened up the floodgates. Every single clone and game similar to Street Fighter 2 was made due to this decision here. So Data East died so that we can have games that you never would have thought of would have appeared here on our Fighting Retrospective.
And with that being said, let's get on to the fight.
All right, now before we start, I'm going to first say don't forget to
like, comment, subscribe, and
ring that bell, folks, and check us out on Ramsis Retro Long Plays as well. I have some long plays going on there. And secondly, I'm going to say we are not pros, but I think for this game, I don't really need to get the precursor. It's pretty much Street Fighter 2. If you can play Street Fighter 2, you're going to be able to play this. And again, yes, there's going to be people that can do this on expert level and all that stuff. This is going to be pretty much done on the regular defaults. But for this game, don't expect pro strats here. This is just going to be Ramsis fumbles Street Fighter's history, a game he hadn't played since 1994. But I think it's going to go well. I really do not see any problems beating this game. But if you beat Street Fighter 2 on the default settings, you can beat Fighter's history on the default settings.
Absolutely.
All right, so here's the option you get. CPU battle, that's the regular. Survival, how long can you go? Versus is the 2-player. Obviously, that'd be player versus player. And setup is the options. We'll go to setup and see what they got. The usual stuff. So you can configure the buttons. I always like to put the top buttons as the weakest kicks. That's what I like to do. So let me set it up here. There we go. So now I like it. And now game level, you have easy, medium, and hard. Very hard and hardest. I'm just going to do regular old medium, right? That's right in the middle. Just medium. That's default. And then you can make it super fast or normal. That's fine.
I was never a fan of Street Fighter Turbo, so I would definitely not like it in this game.
No. And then we're going to do CPU battle. So here's all the characters in the game. You have 9 people. That's it. So a little more than Street Fighter, because Street Fighter only had 8 that you could select. This game actually has 9 you can select. And they don't give you names until you pick it, by the way. So you have no idea who you were picking till there. So
Samchay versus
Phelan. So I'm going to be Samchay for this, because he's very Sagat-like, and you know I am a Sagat
Oh,
fan.
wow, look, it's Chun-Li. And it's freaking Sagat.
Yeah, even the music sounds like Chun-Li.
Oh, this sounds so bad. Oh, man, listen to that. And look, you're pretty much playing Sagat.
Yeah, it's pretty much Sagat. You have a long reach with the legs, you have a fireball, and you do like these, wow,
that was invisible.
Yeah, it's not showing up too well because of the way we're playing this, but that's okay. And then that's his grip.
But you can't do that. That's Yoga Noogie.
Well, I guess let's see what he does. Oh, he's laughing.
He's not laughing. He just put his hands together and bowed. Whatever. Oh my god, this game.
And she's doing the crane pose, you see? So
Capcom just looked at this and said, yep, this is Street Fighter. I'm going, maybe a drug-induced Street Fighter haze. If you're lucky.
It's Street Fighter if you're like squinting and you're sort of, your mind is not really there at the moment. Oh wait, let me get it here. Alright, there we go. I mean, it's sort of Street Fighter, but only in that you have health bars and 2 people fighting on the street and some generic similarities to some Street Fighter characters, but in the most vague of ways, I guess.
Yeah, and look, this is nowhere near good. Yes, I understand this is a Super Nintendo version of it, but the only thing it's going to look better in the arcade or in the Neo Geo is it's just going to be slightly smoother, but that's not enough to save this. This is like Wish Street Fighter, basically.
I can't fight such unworthy opponents.
I mean,
he wants only worthy opponents.
Does it feel as like slow and unreactive as it looks?
Yes, it's really Capcom. That's what I'm saying. Capcom Street Fighter is.
Oh, Matlock. This is what he did before he became a lawyer.
Who knew? Oh, look at it. He's a punk rocker. In Britain, it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have a cop who's just dancing.
All right, so we know that we got Kickboxer over here on the left. What the heck is he supposed to be?
Punk rocker.
That's not a fighting style. That's a type of music.
Well, that's his fighting stuff.
All he's done is block and get hit by an invisible fireball.
Yeah, the fireballs are not showing up for some reason. Sorry, folks. There's nothing we can do with that. But he is throwing fireballs, Samchay. There it is. So sometimes and the other guy's fireballs sometimes.
Oh, look, you did the tiger knee.
Yep, yeah, the tiger knee.
But it goes forward, not up and forward.
Right. That's what I mean. There's enough differences that it's not. And they say instead of you win, it says the character's name.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know the reason why Capcom went after Data East. Data East was nowhere near the juggernaut that Capcom
They
was.
thought they were going to go into court, whip him, and then say, haha, see what happens when you go. I mean, that's exactly what Capcom thought. And I think this is a Street Fighter clone, but it's not Street Fighter. You know, it's in the style of Street Fighter, yes. But this does not play anywhere near as good as a Street Fighter game does. This is very clunky.
Even for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, it's not smooth. It's slow. It's,
I mean, like, Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo was not nearly as good as in the arcade, but it wasn't like, you can watch this and see that it's like, there's a delay in the moves. You can see it.
Oh,
why is that? He's like, oh!
Yeah, so Samchay is fun, but I picked him because he looked like Sagat. That was only. I have no idea. Challenge me again, please. Oh, so look at what happened to.
So your guy's a jerk. Is what it is.
Yeah, let's see who we got. I think they announce it. Yeah, they always announce your opponent. That's another.
Oh,
difference.
Vega. That's exactly who that is.
No, it's Jean. But it is funny you mentioned that this is Vega, because in the case, that's what Capcom was trying to say, that this is pretty much a Vega clone, Jean, and they were not happy about it, because it really is. It plays very, without the claw, besides that, it really plays very Vega-like.
Well, when he starts doing rolls and flying across the screen,
and
then
he
I'll
jumps
believe
very high, and he, yeah. Let's see what he, alright, well, so far I'm owning him,
like, in all honesty, though, the graphics don't look too bad here. I mean, you're just doing the standard Street Fighter moves here. That's how we know it's a Street Fighter clone. Keep them at range, force them to close if they don't have a range, and then make them pay for closing.
Did it back there?
Kind of
And I
Vega-like.
slept.
This is like a Wish Vega. He doesn't even have the claws.
Yeah, I know, and this is the case that Capcom was trying to make against them, that, oh, Jean's pretty much just Vega, and Daddy East was like, what are you talking about? Besides the fact that he flips around and has, like, longish hair, what else is there?
Where's the cage he's supposed to be climbing up?
Right, I mean, that's why it was so silly that Capcom thought that Daddy East was just going to back down and not fight back. They spent their whole fortune on it, but...
Well, right there, he has a ranged attack, even though we can't see it.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, it was silly that they went after it, and I'm glad Daddy East won, but it's sad that Daddy East lost their company due to pretty much this lawsuit.
Oh, well, it is what it is.
I just broke the chandelier.
But, I mean, you know the reason they didn't go after Mortal Kombat was because...
Midway was as huge as Capcom back then. As much as we make fun of Midway, Midway was just as big as Capcom. You were not going to win against Midway. They were going to throw everything in the kitchen sink at it.
But also, to be fair, they had 5 buttons. They used digitized characters.
They would have just said it's different buttons, different setup, different way we do the characters. Now remember, you don't ever fight yourself. Remember, Vester said that back in episode number 1.
Well, obviously, do you see yourself up here?
No, yourself is in our wrestling league.
That's right. He's not here, so I don't know what you're talking about. I'm right again. Would you please stop being wrong about this?
It's Samchay versus Samchay. What do you have to say about that?
He has a twin brother, duh.
Who wears orange?
Absolutely. Because if he were the same person, they'd be dressed the exact same.
This is Thailand, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I love the fact that this is like the poor man's seeing is already there in the back. They're like 300 feet away. It's like, something's happening.
Daddy East is what, a Japanese company, right? So yeah, this is their.
I remember Daddy East. It's sad that they went out.
They made a lot of pinball machines. They made the Back to the Future pinball machine. Remember that?
Yep, they made a lot of stuff, and I'm glad they won because it saved it for fighting games for everybody else. But holy crap! I mean, they literally just was the big company picking on the smaller company.
Yeah, it was big dog picking on little dog, and yes, Capcom quote unquote lost, but I think they won in the long run, which sucks. And you hate to hear that Capcom bullied them like this, but they did, and that's unfortunate.
Well, to be fair, a lot of there was some good. Don't get me wrong, there were good Data East games, but they were always middling. They were fun. You could rent them more than once at the.
Well, don't forget Bad Dudes was a Data East
yeah.
game. They're very generic and basic, and they're similar to other games, but they have their own style to them. They have a very Data East feel to them. You know?
Well, the difference is, Bad Dudes was actually an awesome game. This is
just trying to be Street Fighter and failing a little bit. I mean, the game's not fun. It's like, why would I play this instead of Street Fighter 2?
Well, why are we talking about the actual lawsuit more than we are about the game?
Because there's nothing to talk about. If you played Street Fighter, you pretty much get the idea of what this game is.
Well, I will talk about another lawsuit that does affect us all, and
now,
that
is Zangief, right?
Well, yeah, obviously it's Zangief's Marstorius. Instead of Monstrous, it's Marstorius.
Let's see if he's wearing, like, yeah, he's pretty much wearing the same...
He's Samson.
Yes. Alright, go on what you're saying. Another lawsuit, let me find him.
Oh, well, I was talking about...
Oh, I got the glowing pants, so now let's see if that works.
So
yeah.
his ankles?
So his ankles are his weak point.
And now he's going to block 100%
Let's see, is he dizzy now because I hit his ankles?
You have to keep hitting the ankles.
Let's see what happens.
This is ridiculous.
Let's see if it works.
Oh, look, it's almost ready.
Oh, I think it's going to happen the next one.
Look, his ankles flew
It worked! It worked! Look!
Noogie!
I'm doing the Yoga Noogie, or the Samchay Noogie.
I mean the ankles.
Oh no, he's doing a Zangief move.
Yeah, not nearly as impressive.
Yeah, how about this?
Well, that's impressive, because you actually closed with him. You do like Zangief, and you just throw hundreds of thousands of fireballs at him.
Yes. So I see why Capcom was like, oh, but I don't think they had a case. I think SNK had just as many similar characters.
Are you going to go after his feet again?
I guess so. Those glowing pads around his ankles there are his weak.
Well, at any rate, the other one I was talking about was a recently new one against Nintendo against Power World, basically trying to copyright everything possible about capturing things.
Now, are we allowed to talk about that on a retro channel?
Yes, because Pokemon is a retro game.
Oh, that's true. Pokemon itself
And
is,
it's, once again, a monstrous company attacking an indie developer.
Yeah, they only go after these small companies. You notice that? It's like, are they going to go after, like, Konami or something? No, we're going to go after blah independent company because we can beat them. I mean, that's what it's all about. There's
Absolutely.
no escape from my Cancun.
And don't get me wrong, they obviously copied a lot, but the things they're going after for them in that lawsuit is things like capturing people and monsters with a spherical object.
Right, they're trying to say that's what they have copyrighted. So they're being a little smarter than Capcom. Capcom is like, we own fighting. Nintendo's like, we own the whole notion of you throw something at a monster to capture.
And another thing they're on is characters riding on bicycles. I am not joking this up.
Well, that's ridiculous. There's many characters that
But don't forget.
Paperboy.
Well, don't forget. When in these lawsuits, you throw 900,000
and
things.
you hope the one thing sticks. That's all. You only need one thing to win.
But the thing is, if it's only one thing out of all this you throw at them, all they have to do is change something. It's like, oh, it's a spherical object. Well, I guess I'll throw a box at them now.
Right, exactly. So it's gonna be interesting. Like, even if they lose, they might still be able to make it work. You know, make it a diamond, make it a trapezoid. Just change the shape of the object. You know?
But that's the whole thing we're getting at. It's just yet another thing of a giant company going after a smaller company that can't defend itself. But the good news is that our world actually got the help of Sony of all peoples to fight them. So this is actually a very interesting thing, and hopefully by the time that you see this, we'll have some more information on it, or at the very least, hopefully by the time you watch this in the far future, if you're fans 10 years from now, hopefully a good outcome came and it wasn't something crappy. Like
now, you have to admit, this background is not very good.
Hey, you broke a sign.
The dogs have it. Let's see what I say. Grace is my gift for you.
So this guy is a bad guy like Sagat.
I guess so.
So you like being the bad guy. Hey, Chico.
El Razor. The big.
That'd be absolutely hilarious. I would so choose Razor Ramon if he was in the game.
Well, Razor Ramon's in that Mortal Kombat wrestling game.
Oh, that was terrible.
Well,
that was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's an orange, blonde-haired man.
That must be Guile.
Uh-huh.
I think they did say Ray was too much, or like Ken. I forgot they said he was like Ken or Guile, but this is one of the characters they were not happy with Capcom.
To me, it's, what's what I'm looking for here? It's definitely not Guile. It reminds me of Ken.
Yes, I think they said this is...
But then again, he moves like Guile. That's the problem. Look how he's walking.
Oh.
He doesn't fight like either because he didn't even hit you.
No. It's like he's whistling. He has a lightning shirt? Yes, just like Ken. Lightning. I'll be in that place, I'll tell you. I'm not just gonna fight.
He's like, well, instead of fighting in front of it, I'll fight in it.
That's right. Samchay showed him.
I just can't help but think that there's nobody here stopping this.
The Capitol building, yeah, a street fight here with nobody else around. You gotta love it. Oh,
I guess they're used to seeing the senators and representatives fight all the time.
Fighting it out, yeah. This is like, here we go.
That'd be awesome. You know, let's say, guys, since we're talking about fighting,
Yankee go home, but he was home.
I find
well, I'm a Mets fan. I do find offense to that.
So there you go.
Mets. So this was, I think they said, a little too close to Ryu, even though it's a female. But it's very Ryu-like. A female Ryu.
Well, it couldn't also... Well, Sakura was...
Now, do you see this guy crawling in the background? Watch the background.
There's a guy crawling. I see a guy...
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cat.
The cat.
Oh, he's cleaning the dojo. That's what that is.
Okay. So would you say this is very Ryu-like here, this fighter?
Well, as soon as they throw a fireball, then I'll say maybe.
She keeps running that way.
I mean, the AI is god-awful, which means, folks, that when you put this on hard or harder, it's going to auto-block and do all the horrible things.
Right, block everything, and suddenly all the special moves are just going to come out of everywhere.
Yeah, you don't want that. That's not fun.
I mean, it looks like a ugly Ryu, doesn't it? Oh.
I can't tell.
Hold on. Oh, we're hitting each other.
Well,
this is great gameplay here, folks.
how you played that remember in Street Fighter EX,
There we go.
you got that draw.
That's alright. Well, I'm not gonna get a draw here.
Samchay win. I guess they're not even putting up a quarter of the fight.
bedtime, so it's a kid. It gets past your bedtime. Is that what I would say when I'm watching? It's a Gucci.
Well, let's see who this guy is supposed to be.
It's a Gucci, yeah.
No, seriously, who's he supposed to be?
Is this the Ryu guy of the game?
Because none of these people look like anybody except for him.
Oh. I love how everyone's walking on wood barefoot.
Well, they're tough, unlike you.
Alright, will you let me focus on the game?
You don't have to focus, you're literally just destroying them on medium.
Because there's a Street Fighter, except an easier version.
And like none of them are doing
version of
anything. It's like Matlock, the lawyer here, in his precursor day, so now I think about this is a prequel to all the cool shows.
Oh yes, you know it was in the early 90s. Oh, he kicked.
So you know Matlock eventually went to, before he was a lawyer, was a punk rocker in England.
Yeah, who knows?
And Samchay was obviously a master level martial artist before he became the guy that worked at the Asian place down the street.
Yeah. Well, he makes good stuff. Doesn't this sound like Ken's theme?
Well, it's the song that sounds the most like something. But, I mean, the music's actually terrible here. Even the original Street Fighter had better music.
And we can't use the excuse Super Nintendo, because Super Nintendo actually has a good sound chip.
Oh, here's the thing I don't get. I mean, look how bad the AI is. It's just walking at you, allowing you to beat them up. You've gotten
Wait, did I break the brick? Yes, I broke the barrel.
You've gotten so many perfects. And this game is so bad, it's not worth going back.
This is medium difficulty, by the way. It's not easy.
We always do all of our games at medium.
Shame loss for you, proud man.
He's trying to talk smack.
Translate. Alright, so let's see what's that. Oh, it's a boss. Alright, it is
the Joker. I don't know.
No, it's a clown.
Oh, wow. Look, folks.
What am I, a clown? I'm here to amuse you?
So, I'm going to guess that this is supposed to be M. Bison, right? Is he going to use Psycho Crusher or something?
No, this would be more like Vega.
He actually makes me think of Vega more.
Oh, he's juggling me!
You're losing to a clown. This is your first real opponent, you know?
Well, let's see if I can... Why is that guy sitting in a door? Why is there a seal in the background juggling?
You're in another dimension, right?
Yeah, I guess I went through that door. I'm not...
This is so lame that he's just jumping into your fireballs. But you know, the funny thing is you only found one guy with the weakness with their clothes.
That's true, yeah, they kept bragging about all these flashing...
It must be so freaking hard to hit them. I bet it's this guy's hat. I bet if you got close and probably hit him in the face with a punch.
Right, I think you have to hit the spot a few times for it to happen. Right? Is that what the
yeah.
Thing is?
Well, no, the other guy, you just hit it once and it started flashing.
Oh.
Every time you've hit this guy, it's been like in the air. So I don't even know how you're going to...
Hold on. Uh-oh, he's spinning.
That ain't the blanket attack. I don't think of blanket when I look at this dude.
There he goes.
Holy cow.
That was the boss, or the mid-boss, at least.
When you look at this game, you realize it bankrupts.
I will honor this day forever. And he's
oh, it's a killer clown from outer space. Look at that.
Alright, so now it's the main boss of the game. And who do you think it is? Well, remember, it's a Data East game, so it's... That's right, Karna from their other fighting games, Karna.
Yeah, but it was so much cooler. I guarantee you he's either going to be overpowered or underpowered.
Well, let's find out. Here we go. Wow, we're in the middle of a...
He's really short. I mean, like, tiny.
He does these super kicks.
That is actually pretty cool. Oh, his hat!
His hat was glowing. His hat's his weakness. Oh, he does do the fire at least, because that's true to Karna.
Well, this actually feels like a Street Fighter game now.
Yep.
Look at all the cheese.
Oh, my arms are glowing.
It's your armbands.
Yeah, so that means my upper body's the weakness.
So this is actually not bad. It only took you beating everybody to get to the final boss to actually have an average opponent.
Ayo.
I mean, serious. Look at this. He had to beat everybody before he finally did have a challenge.
Well, that's.
I mean, there's that one guy you fought earlier on, but after that, you destroyed him.
I mean, maybe I'm too good for medium. Did you ever think of that?
I know this is just a sign of a bad game.
Oh. See, he won't give me credit for.
Why would I give you credit for a bad game?
Well, I'm on fire.
I hope you're on fire. I love the fact his hat glows. Imagine this world, they hit you in your weak spot, then your clothes just starts glowing. If you were in this world, they'd have to hit any part of you and you'd start glowing.
Well, my Mets hat probably started to.
I'd just glow if you walk near New York Stadium.
Yes. Remember, Yankees go home, but not Mets go home. So.
Well, the problem
there
is
we go.
you have no home.
Now let's see the ending. I feel real satisfied. I beat this very impressive game here.
And we talked about all the lawsuits.
Alright, here's the ending. Two kids run up to me.
So it's Gal's ending.
Brother! Sisters! Leave me be. I can't stand any more violence. Can't we all just get up? Did he just quote Rodney King?
Yeah, can we all just get along?
Take me back to Thailand. Or
R&R. Wow, go ahead and
really
put your name in.
All right, I'm gonna put... Well, Vesser, this was a game, all right. This was a fun game.
I don't know what we saw. It was supposed to be a fighting game. I honestly don't know what to think about this.
Well, we're gonna have to think about it because we're gonna do our happy little recap now.
Oh, you want our recap? I'll tell you the recap. Capcom sucks. Data East got bullied. There you go. That's the recap of our
over
entire
this
episode.
game. I mean, we just played it, folks, and I thank you all for watching it. Yes, the arcade version is probably a tiny % better, but it really is this game, just a little bit better. But Super Nintendo does capture what this game is. I mean, really, there's not much that changed from the arcade version to the Super Nintendo, except some graphical and some sound differences. Besides that, it's the same game. So this is what Capcom went against. It's like they were really worried that Fighter's history, a very, very, very poor man's version of Street Fighter, was such a, oh my god, how could they copy? That's infringing our copyright. We're going to go after him. I mean, what a waste of time. This game, it's an average game. Is it terrible? No, but it's one of those games like if you're at the bowling alley, there's nothing else there. You play it for a while to kill some time. That's all this game is, you know?
And I'd honestly probably go with the bowling game that's always at every bowling alley.
Right, yeah, they always had the bowling game. Ironically made by Capcom, but that's another story itself. So, it's ridiculous that Capcom went after Daddy East for this ridiculous game. It's not even that good. Is it a copy of Street Fighter? I will say yes. I'm not gonna be an idiot and say no, this is not a Street Fighter copy. It's a Street Fighter clone. It is, but so what? What are you gonna? Is Coke gonna sue Pepsi now, or is Pepsi gonna sue Coke?
I think they already did that.
It goes nowhere. You're allowed to have something similar on the market. I mean, this is the United States. You're allowed to do it. Just like Weird Al can parody people. Weird Al can parody people. You can have similar fighting games. I mean, it's so ridiculous that Capcom put all their eggs to ruin Data East over this nonsense. This game's not even that good. Is it terrible? No, but it's such an average, forgettable, who cares game that it's not worth the effort that Capcom put into this.
Absolutely, but as we all know, video games and everything else always has somebody bullying the other, even today with Nintendo going after an indie company. So they all feel they have to get their place, hold on to it, and as gamers, we all suffer for it when this happens.
Yeah, and now don't forget, there was some real cases. You know, we're going to do a little retro here and then we'll wrap it up. Pac-Man was being copied by everybody. Atari bought the rights from Namco to make Pac-Man ports, and then everyone else is doing without paying for it. That's a different situation. When you're paying for the right to port a game and others are going to make a game that's pretty much the same exact thing without permission, that I agree with. You don't have the right to do that because you're just taking the same exact game without paying for the rights to it. I agree with that. But make a game in the vein of something else, no, you have every right to do that as long as it's different enough.
After all, I mean, look at the Alien game we did 4 years ago. Wow, Ramses, 4 years ago.
Pack Alien, yeah.
Pack Alien. So you could easily do something similar and not get sued.
Right. But sometimes you can't. Like Casey Munchkin on the Odyssey 2 is a perfect example of this. That game is different enough but still Atari felt it was still too close. That's what I mean. It's all subjective how different is something. And, you know, the little precursor to this is the judge was going to right away side with Capcom. That's something you probably didn't realize, Vesper, that the judge right away, he read what this was and said, oh yeah, it's very obviously a clone. He was going to decide right away until Daddy E said, wait a minute, we spent millions of dollars for all these extras. Can't you at least let us tell you our side of the story? And the judge was like, oh, all right. And then a day later, Daddy East pretty much convinced him exactly why it's not a copy. I mean, the judge was ready to right away just side with Capcom without even hearing the case. He heard the case and then realized, oh yeah, there's not a copy. It's scenes are fair. You can't copy fighting styles.
All right. Now for the serious portion of this review of this clone that is subpar. Bad controls, same movesets, and terrible fighting AI. Because, as we all know, when you have a bad game at medium, when they put it on hard and hardest, it's going to be impossible because it's going to be like the original Street Fighter 2, which was legendary for characters doing things they could never do that you were supposed to be able to. Like, you know, Guile's charging flash kick or walking towards you and just doing endless amounts of sonic booms.
Or Vega able to do constant off-the-wall stuff so fast that, yeah, no human could do it as fast as he's doing and flipping and all that stuff.
So imagine a game that's terrible to begin with, and then you have bad controls and clunky maneuvering, and you give the computer the advantage to do what it wants to do. Oh yeah, not going to be a good time.
That's what you have in Fighter's history. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed that little walk down history. It's definitely a clone, but it's not a very good
Actually,
clone.
I would say a history of fighters.
Right.
Instead of a fighter's history.
It's not a good clone. It's really, what a waste of time. The game's not memorable, but there was 2 more made before Daddy East actually went out of business. So they had Karnov's Revenge, and then they had another one that was made for the Neo Geo, and then that was it. They were out of business after that. So there was actually, after they won, Daddy East was like, aha, now we can make a whole franchise out of it. Who cared? I mean, they made 3 games altogether, and I don't think any of them
Well, Daddy East was already not doing good at this time. This lawsuit didn't help, but the problem is when you keep releasing games that nobody wants to buy, then...
yeah, your company's going to be doomed, and they were. So definitely stay tuned to the end, see what we wind up giving this. This is the 11th game. That means we have 1 more left, and then we are done with our Fighting Retrospective. I can't believe we've done it again. Another season's worth of Fighting Retrospectives here on Investors Retro Reviews. And I think Fighter's History is one of those that it was fun, it's timely, it's a cool piece to add because, wow, look at how competitive the fighting circuit was, and there's a good game to showcase. Not that it's good, but that it's a part of history because Capcom felt threatened by this game, which I find hilarious. I really do.
Absolutely. Now, with that being said, we hope you enjoyed the show. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and
ring that bell, and we'll see you all next time. And don't forget to check out our Fighters Retrospective. They'll all be listed here. There's going to be 12 altogether, 1 more to go, and then we'll do a full look back at all of them together as our last episode for season number 4. So we'll see you all next time here on Investors Retro Reviews. Take care.
Goodbye, everybody.
マットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろ実習マットロンにせろマットロンにせろマットロンにせろパットか